Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a review here for a PlayStation 2 game I talked about yesterday in my Shrek review. I didn't get a chance to review this like I wanted to. This is a review for the PS2 game also called DT Carnage. Now, DT may sound familiar. So, there was a game I reviewed on some of my other channels that I abandoned. For a while there, I tried to abandon this channel years ago and tried to start off fresh with a new channel where I was on camera. And one of the things I reviewed, a couple of times, matter of fact, was called DT Racer. If you've never heard of DT Racer, there's really not much on YouTube or really even online aside from a general mention here and there on like Reddit or a forum. Not many people know about DT Racer. And rightfully so, because it's probably one of the worst racing games, probably one of the worst officially released games from any company onto any kind of console. Think of the worst movie tie-in, beat-em-up types of games. Like, wasn't The Crow 2, wasn't that one of them that was like one of the worst games ever, from what I hear? It looked cool, it just was terrible, apparently. Think of something as awful as the worst movie tie-in game, the biggest cash grab you've ever seen, some of the old Game Boy versions of games that you had on regular consoles. Think of something like that. DT Racer was a racing game that the physics, literally, it's kind of like Whose Line Is It Anyway? The physics don't even matter. There is no gravity. You'll be driving on a regular racetrack with really, in my opinion, really, really cool cars with a really great soundtrack. That's what I loved about DT Racer. You could be just driving in a straight line and your car will just start to kind of lift off of the road. You couldn't take a turn at all without trying to spin out. And yet the game became more fun, not because you could win a race, because I don't think I ever won a race in that entire time playing that game for the few hours I did. That game was fun because eventually you just realized that you could just destroy your car. I mean, the physics for that were fantastic. Or, even more so, you could wreck everybody else, and it was even better. I can't even imagine what that would be like playing multiplayer with someone. That would be amazing. But DT Carnage was the sequel to that. That game came out in 2003. This came out in 2008. And 5 years difference, man. And this was also like on the PSP, or there was like a mini sequel for PSP as well. If I remember correctly, the PSP one came out before this. I'm not really sure what was what, but I've heard that. Anyway, this is like if they tried to make a real, actual racing game, but like with the same tracks and stuff, maybe updated a little bit for this new release 5 years later. The game looks better, to be honest with you. I think the actual graphics of it look pretty cool. And this one is more serious. Like, you're not going to spin out if you take the wrong turn. However, you may accidentally begin to drift or just slide, as if it were icy outside. This game has a lot of reasons for why I also kind of consider it bad. I had a great time on Friday night and on Saturday morning playing like the Shrek racing game, Shrek Crash and Bash, whatever it was called. I just reviewed that, like I said. And this game, and I played one more. I don't have a chance to review that yet because I'm not done with what I want to say about it. This one I'm pretty much done, even though I didn't finish it, just so you know up front. Because I don't think I ever will. Unless I went into retirement and I ran out of things to play and my PS2 was still working, then I would finish this game. But let me tell you up front, I have not won a single race in this game because of how poorly set up and designed it is. Do you know what the biggest influence on this game is? It's not DT Racer and its beautiful style with the beautiful cars, and I don't know if you can use cheats or anything for this game like you could with DT Racer that made that game even more fun. All the money and all the cars and stuff were so cool there. I don't know if you have that option here. I didn't even bother to look into it because I was just done after a few hours of playing this. I really like 2 hours of playing this. I don't even know how much progress I made. This thing's biggest inspiration is Gran Turismo 4. Or Gran Turismo in general. Not because of car customization or anything like that. I mean, you can pick colors for your car. I don't even know if you could do that in DT Racer. But there is what a lot of people I've seen say, and I think I'm getting the number of this game right. A lot of people that I would see reviews for this game, the commenters would say, oh my god, it's the Final Fantasy XII skill tree setup for a racing car game. You know how Gran Turismo is kind of like an RPG, but with cars and racing? And like, the thing people like myself hate who prefer arcade racers is that you have to slowly over time work your way from spot to spot in races by doing the same boring ass races with no car physics or anything over and over and over again to try to eventually win one race and have like maybe one part that will help you out. I don't like Gran Turismo that much. It can be fun. It's got a great style to it, great music typically, but I'm not a fan. This is taking the fucking sequel from DT Racer is taking influence from Gran Turismo. Like they have that kind of attempt to be able to do something like that in skill. No, don't do that. That is not for you. Okay? Not everyone can do the roles that Schwarzenegger could do. You know what I mean? Don't mimic something you possibly could not be whatsoever in your life throughout history. Don't even do it. Don't even try to do it, matter of fact. If you've got a beer gut, don't try to go model. You know what I mean? For anything outside of beer. So anyway, I wanted to like this, but it feels like all the style is gone. There's no good music for this. It's really, really generic overall. But like the skill tree thing I talked about a moment ago. By the way, you have different characters you can pick. One of them is named like, how do they say it? James Stewart. Like it's a play on James Stewart, the actor, Jimmy Stewart. And I grabbed him up as my character, and I got my ass whooped over and over and over again. Most of my time invested was trying to buy all these little skills with these points that you develop as you play through each race. Every time you get a certain higher ranking within a race, you get, more money to put towards more skills on the skill tree. And supposedly the idea is that you're going to suck at first, and again, in the Gran Turismo way, eventually get enough upgrades, skills and whatnot on your like player chart for your character to get better and better. Supposedly this matters, depending on the character you use. Some will be more focused and more inclined to acceleration and top speed. Some will be more about braking. Some will be more about how they handle skillfully their cars. And yet you still have to update all those things. Like, on a general basis. And I gotta tell you, man, I tried the James Stewart character. I eventually switched over to a girl character that was supposed to have a lot more speed. And then I started doing fairly good, aside from when you would try to hit a turn, and like the races have you moving so slow that there's like no way to really, really surpass a lot of people. Like, yeah, you have power-ups and stuff in a very Mario Kart way. If you drive through these little loops on the tracks, you get a little power-up, and it can be a lot of different things. Like, there was one called a cannon, and I don't remember this in DT Racer, where you just start seeing like a red laser beam like you see land on the president's chest back in the day in old movies and shit. A red laser will just be aiming out of the sky, and then if you hit like the launch button, a fucking bomb just falls out of nowhere and lands on whatever car might be nearby it. Sometimes you get torpedoes that can lock onto cars. Sometimes you just get regular torpedoes. It's kind of inspired by Death Race, even though this would have come out before Death Race the same year, the movie with Jason Statham, the old remake. But it's very much like that, which had me excited as I began to realize what the potential could be here. But again, after like 2 hours of playing the game and adding all these skills, and we're talking about like a whole branch of that skill tree. I didn't mean to make that point. A whole branch of that was developed with so much money invested from all the races I had worked on, even though I hadn't won a single race. I got up to like second place at the highest. All that time and effort put into that, and yet the James character was not improving almost at all. Not enough to where it actually seemed like it mattered. I don't care what anybody says. I firmly actually believe that it's not speeding you up, it's making the other car slower and dumber, the AI for them. That's what I'm convinced was happening there. Because they'll just start to spin out and wreck all the time, a lot more commonly. It's not like you're going faster or handling the car better. None of that feels like it's improving. It feels like the other people get dumber. Like you're stealing their IQ points to put on your skill tree. That's what it felt like to me. You know what I mean? But I wanted to love DT Carnage. And again, graphically, it looks cool. but it feels like all the important things like the music and stuff just got downgraded to generic bullshit where it doesn't even have the personality that DT Racer had. And DT Racer was bad. It was fun bad. Like, you could not finish a race. You could not place a spot within the race because you're gonna crash your car. And the way the AI would be, it's so aggressive there. Not even meaning to be, but they would just get in your way half the time. Kind of like Gran Turismo. Which I think both, in my opinion, are bad AI design, personally. No matter how much people try to shill for GT, or GT4 for that matter. DT Carnage, it had potential, and it still shits the bed. It drives better than DT Racer, but it's not as fun. It's not as fun at all, to be honest, in my opinion. And again, that's 2 hours into the game. I don't feel any need whatsoever with how repetitive this is to continue playing it to try to beat it to eventually get a review out. If the game sounds cool to you, I don't know if I'd still recommend it to you. Even if you like the whole Final Fantasy Gran Turismo skill tree thing, I still don't think that's going to make the game better for you. Even if you think it sounds cool, because of how it plays. Even though it plays better than DT Racer. And I think it plays decently compared to a lot of PS2 racers that can be kind of tight with the turning and stuff. This has that issue. Like I said, your car will sometimes just slide. You can't really avoid it because of how some of the turns on the tracks are developed. But I wanted to like it a lot more, and I'm sorry, I just don't. I still kind of lean towards liking DT Racer more because it's so cartoonish and over the top. But anyway, have you played DT Carnage? Put your thoughts in comments down below if you remember this game, no matter the console or anything. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you prefer between this and DT Racer? I don't think there was a third one or anything, but if there is, let me know. I'd love to get it if I don't already have it from just randomly buying racing games at the local stores, or online for that matter. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.